Average order value. What is it? This is Keith Perhac from SegMetrics. Let's dive in. AOV is average order value, or the amount on average that someone is going to pay you for a single order. So that can be a number of different things. So people can bundle products together into a single order, or they can buy one really expensive product. Both of those are ways to increase your average order value. And the benefit of average order value is that it really helps you increase the amount of money that your customers are worth without having to necessarily bring in a ton of new customers. Everyone should care about average order value. It is the amount of money that you are able to make from each of your customers and for each order that they place. So in subscription products, this is called ARPU, or average revenue per user, which is essentially the same thing. How much is a user or a customer paying you each time they make a purchase? And it's important because the more someone pays you, the more money you're making for that same value of a single person. You should care about your average order value because it costs an amount of time or money to acquire a new customer. So if you're able to increase the average order value for your customers, you're able to make more money with spending less money to acquire the same number of customers. In short, it helps you take the same number of customers you have and make more money from them. Good and bad in average order value is a little hard to pin down because it really is very much dependent on your business. However, I like to say that you want to have your average order value be slightly above your middle tiered product. And that's going into a whole other discussion, which we'll get to in a second. But essentially, you want to have a tripwire offer or a small offer. You want to have your base offer, and then you want to have something just insanely expensive so that people can upgrade if they need to. And what you want to really shoot for is an average order value that is slightly north of whatever your main product is. So when you're looking to improve your AOV, we're going to talk about that thing I just mentioned, which is tiered pricing. There's a number of ways to do this. What we're going to look at is three main strategies: tiered pricing, post-purchase upsells, and bundling. All right, so let's look at the first one, tiered pricing. So this is very common in info products, in coaching, in membership sites. Not so common in e-com, but very common within digital products. And the idea here is that you have a main product, let's say it's $150. That is what you want people to buy. You also have a product that is lower priced, that is the kind of offset. It's a light version. It's for people on the fence. It's for people who aren't really serious, but you still want to have them start that purchase, right? So maybe it's at $75 or $80. It's slightly less. And then you have a product that is essentially 3 to 5 to maybe even 10 times as expensive as your base price. If you have a $150 product, maybe it's $1,000. All right. That is the best way to increase your average order value using tiered pricing. And the reason is because the higher price version is going to offset the perceived expense of that middle one. So if you see a product for $1,000 and then you see, oh, that's really expensive, that $150 isn't really that bad. So people will gravitate towards that $150 and then pick up stragglers at that $7 or remove that $7. It's one or the other, right? The other thing is that people who are willing to spend that extra money for the extra things in your VIP package, it's going to be a small percentage, but because you are pricing it as 10x the standard price, you're going to make a lot of revenue off of a small number of purchasers. I believe the number that's often given is that the highest tier makes up 1% of the purchasers, but accounts for 10% of the revenue. Another strategy that we would look at is my favorite, which is a post-purchase upsell. So remember, average order value is the average amount someone is willing to spend on a single order. So if you have a upsell that comes in post-purchase, that increases the value of your orders on average. So what is a post-purchase upsell? So there's two types of upsells. There is a pre-purchase upsell, and this is things like when you are in a checkout cart on Amazon and you put something in your cart and it says, hey, would you like to add some batteries to that? That is a pre-purchase upsell. They have not yet decided to buy or not, and that adding the product in before the purchase may or may not influence someone to actually buy the original product. So a pre-purchase upsell is always valuable, but it is not always 100% guaranteed, right? So what I prefer is, in fact, the post-purchase upsell. And what that is after someone has purchased a product, you offer them a second product that is related to the first product. And the reason I like this better is because it does not influence the original purchase intent. Someone is not going to be dissuaded from buying the original product because there is a post-purchase upsell, because they don't know it exists until after they have given you their money. Again, these don't have the best conversion rates, maybe 10 to 20%, but 10, 20% increase on your average order value is a lot of money in the long term. And it has no effect on your original conversion rate, which is always great. The last one is bundling. And we talked about this a little bit, but it's essentially taking multiple products and allowing people to combine them into a larger product that is less than the sum of the whole. So you see this a lot on video game sales and info products and stuff, where buy the so-and-so bundle. So you'd have 3 products at $10 each, and you can get the whole bundle for $20 or $25, right? So this is a great way to convince people to purchase something because of the added value and discount without necessarily discounting the product itself. Especially in coaching and memberships, it is very difficult sometimes to do a discount because it devalues the work that you're doing. But bundling products together allows you to give a discount that does not position itself as such. So it's not devaluing your work, but it's giving people extra incentive to purchase the product because you are able to say, look, this is the core offering, but we're going to give you this and this and this for just a little bit more. So it's increasing your average order value with a small bump to the deliverables that are being given out. We always talk about you should review metrics as often as you are willing to change them. And average order value is really one of those more long-term metrics that I don't think you modify week by week, day by day, or anything like that. I would really look at average order value maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month, depending on how many people you have coming in, what you're trying to optimize, and if you're running a test currently to try and increase that average order value. So if you are currently working on increasing your average order value, I would probably look at it week after week. If you are just using it as something to say, oh, how are things going over time? I would probably look at it month over month, because it is one of those things that unless you are actively working to increase it, it's not something that's going to fluctuate that much on a day-to-day basis. One of the benefits of using SegMetrics when you're trying to optimize your AOV is really the bundling and that pricing tier. And one of the things that we have worked a lot on is understanding the product orbit. And the product orbit is what products are often bought together or bought in sequence. And this is a great way to understand what are additional offers that you can present to people that can lead them into post-purchase upsells or bundling. So one of the things you can do is use that product orbit to understand that people who go into the design course will then want to go into the UX building course. And what you can do is either bundle those two together as a single bundle and increase that average order value, or create a lighter version of that UX course to put into the first product as a post-purchase upsell. So then you buy the product, you get a small upsell, and that convinces you to buy the further product later on during the product orbit. So being able to really understand the connection between different products and those customers is a great way to understand how you should be combining your products and your offers. When you're looking to really optimize your AOV, it's really just simple as best. It is tiered pricing, it is post-purchase upsells, and it is really understanding the relationship between people who buy one product and another, and understanding which products fit together in a bundle or have good synergy. One of the craziest upsells that we've seen is we were running a $200 initial offer, and we had a $5,000 upsell. And we thought, No one will take us up on this. Who buys a $200 product and then goes to a $5,000 upsell? Well, a very small percentage of people did it, but some people did it. And we made more money from that $5,000 upsell than we did selling a lower priced $50 upsell, just because many fewer people bought it, but it was enough because the price was so large. Don't be confined by the price when you are looking at those upsells and those bundles. Find what works for your audience. So people ask, should I be worried about my AOV? What's the thing I need to look at for my AOV? And there really isn't a hard and fast rule. AOV is the AOV of your business. You should really only be concerned about your average order value if it's going down, and you should always be trying to raise that average order value. So it's not one of those metrics that's like, oh, this is what I need to be concerned about. It's more of, this should be one of your North Star metrics to continually increase over time. You should always be looking to increase that average order value over time, because it increases the amount of revenue you're able to make comparative to the number of people in your list. If you're looking to optimize your AOV, head over to SegMetrics.io and check us out with our 14-day free trial. I'll see you there.